Hey there, Jenny. My name is Glenn Angel, and I'm making this video because I saw your live stream of VidCom earlier, and you said that you kind of wanted to go back to Spanish class because the accents kind of confuse you. And I thought I'd make like this short video to hopefully save you a few bucks. So, accents. What are they? Why do we have them? And why are they so complicated? Basically, the accents are used to help us know how to pronounce a word. So the accent's main function is tell us like where the stress of a word is, and that tells us like the rhythm of the word. So the stress in most Spanish words, like the majority of Spanish words, happen in the second to last syllable. So we have these four words here. These three have two syllables, while planeta has three. And so the second to last syllable, of course, is the P in perro, the P in piña, Q in Cuba, and ne in planeta. So this is like the flat rule, like it applies to all Spanish words. If it follows this rule, there is no accent to be shown here. If you were to see the accents, they all be bam, right here, etc. But if I were to change the accent to be somewhere else, this would be pronounced perro, this would be pronounced Cuba, and this over here would be pronounced planeta. Planeta. You see, it's so weird. And that's essentially like the blanket rule that you got two syllables, it's gonna be the first one. You got three syllables, it'll be the middle, and there's no accent happening there. Another rule to remember is that if a word ends with an L or an R, the stress will always be on the last syllable, no matter what, and there will be no accent. So some examples would be stuff like papel, comer, and criminal. The accent, or the stress, the stress will be at the very last syllable, no matter what, and there is no accent to be shown. So again, if I were to change the accent to where this would be, it would be pronounced papel, which, doesn't sound right. It's papel, comer, criminal. So now we know that the second to last syllable will be stressed in most cases, and if a word ends with an L and R, then that will be the stress, that last syllable. So that's what we know so far. Another rule, if a word ends with the letter N, the vowel before that will have an accent in almost every single case. So some examples are these: corazón, relación, están. Basically very easy to remember. Word ends with an N, then the vowel before it will have that accent, and it's going to be pronounced corazón instead of like corazón or relación or están. It's just not gonna happen. And this is the last rule that I can think of, but there are probably tons of other rules because Spanish is a whole encyclopedia just full of rules. Is that when we start adding like the personal pronouns, like the me, the te, the le, lo, all that good stuff right here, when we start adding those to the words, the accent can change. So for example, a word like diga, it's the first rule, the basic, two syllables, the stress is on the first syllable, this one, no accent. But then if we want to add, let's say, me, dígame, basically the root word will be taken into account, and you just add an accent, boop, because this is now the first syllable of three syllables. So we just add the dígame. So instead of saying dígame, you just said diga, then add the me, dígame. And then you can say dígamelo, add another one, and it's the same thing. That part is confusing. You can just ignore that if it makes no sense, but I know in writing, I always get tripped up with this. So now the real reason for accents is that they show up whenever the rules aren't being followed per se. So for instance, these two words, árbol and café. So árbol does end with an L, but we don't say árbol. We actually put the accent up here because this is where the stress is, árbol. And then this word, we do not pronounce café, we pronounce café. So it doesn't follow the standard, second to last syllable. It just goes over here and we add in that accent. So any word that seems to go off from these rules, that's when you add accents. And that's probably gonna be where you start studying you know, writing Spanish, be like, oh, there's an accent that goes here and here and here, and, you know, a whole bunch of stuff. So in review, here are the rules. Basically, most of the time Spanish words, the second to last syllable will have the stress. If a word ends with an R or an L, the stress will be on the last syllable, where the L or R is. And if the word ends with an N, most of the time the vowel right before the N receives that accent. If it does not follow this rule, you add in an accent wherever that stress falls. I hope this made sense. I hope this helped you, Jenny. Maybe this helped someone else who didn't understand accents. Yes, so this is Glenn Angel, and I hope you have a wonderful VidCon. I hope you all have a wonderful start of the summer, and bye.